Hello there, and today we're going to give you an honest review of Astrometica, and this is an early access game still, but it's, it's close to completion, I think, because it says 0.9 on there for its release date. But let's get started on there. We got extra save slots, we can just continue, delete, it's not too bad. What this game is like Subnautica, but in space. That's even the starting screen right here, the loading screen, it looks like the Subnautica one too, with the big ship that you have in that. If you're not familiar with that game, it's basically going to look like this when you play it, except for Subnautica has a much bigger budget for graphics and all that kind of stuff. But the graphics, as you can see, are not too bad in this game. So yeah, they're not too bad for how how low of a budget it is. But yeah, this is just in space, so you got to worry about your health and your thirst and your all that kind of stuff. But Subnautica in space, basically. But so you're not going to get all those big, huge creatures and all that dark terrain underwater and things like that, where you got to try and explore and it gets dangerous and things like that. But you have access to the space and can go pretty much anywhere right at the start. You have these little air bubbles everywhere, and you can just fly around and get to them, and then upgrade your suit for better oxygen capacity and better thrusters for your jetpack, so you can move around faster. Then you get some little vehicles like that little skipper thing over there, what do you want to call something like that, little glider, I guess, or a little thing like there. It's got some boost. It's a little bit faster, but it doesn't help you on the oxygen department. No storage or anything like that, but yeah, you can zip around on that if you feel like building it. But yeah, so then you have some other crafts and things like that. But yeah, you're just building a base. So you build the base, you got an automatic miner, unlike Subnautica, so you can mine some things automatically, which is nice. So it does have some improvements in that department, but you're in space versus the water, so it's not as good as an environment and play style, because you're wide open. It does have gates and portals to other maps, so that's a good thing for expanding, but none of it's active. You go through the portal on your little ship that you can make, and you go nowhere. It's basically a huge asteroid belt with nothing, and there's nothing is interactable. It's basically a huge dead zone on there. So yeah, the most of the stuff in this game is about base building. If you're you're familiar with Subnautica, you got your log file with your entries, and little other places pop up on the map that give you the waypoints. Go here, we're being attacked. You get there's nobody there. That same style of story. The whole point of this game right now is just do the tutorial. It's basically a glorified tutorial with a little bit of extra stuff at the end of it, but there's not really much on the storytelling yet. It's a little bit too early for that. And then you have all these different workstations. You get your basic fabricator, like Subnautica has with your basic parts, and then you get your advanced fabricator, and then get some more upgrades for your suit, like a toxic upgrade, extra thrusters for your thing, and then you got your upgrade station to upgrade some of that. But there's not much going on in that department. There's not. I didn't even get the T3 oxygen capsule for some reason. But yeah, just T2 so far on some of the things. Another smelter versus smelting. You can smelt iron bars on there, so I don't really get it, right? I can smelt iron and copper bars here, and the glass. Then you have a whole smelter which does the copper and iron bars already too. You're just getting gold, and these are other resources you can't really find in this game yet. That's kind of weird in that department. But yeah, and then your little modification for your tools, which is it's almost like the same thing right there. You go to your mining tool, you get up to T3 for your battery and mining powers, and you can just add those in there, take them apart, and upgrade them. The other tools don't really have much. You got scanner distance, and the build tool and the laser tool has nothing, and your melee weapon doesn't have anything. And instead of using a knife, you're just using a bludgeoning object to open up stuff. But battery chargers and recycling things and that kind of stuff for your basic standard workstations in this game. And my health just goes down and up randomly in this game for some reason. You can't really grow as much as you want to grow, for making the bandages and stuff like that. You need fabric, but you can't really grow anything to make it. You have to go out there and farm it manually. Then you can grow some of these plants, and they they give you one at a time type thing. So the farming is subpar compared to Subnautica in this game. And the power systems, I don't really like it too much. This is your power system to look at, and that's all it tells you, right? You're generating more power than you need, or what it says. I don't know why it does that, but it's the capacity, which is the problem. problem in this game. I didn't really like that idea on that department, because lots of these workstations just take up too much, of your power capacity, and they don't really do anything. They use the power, and that's what the batteries are for. But you're just stuck making batteries for your station, and they're picky on where you place them. And the major disappointment I have. Well, hopefully they change it, right? They're going to get feedback and stuff like that, and I think lots of people are going to say, like, why, in the first place, why are storages in the advanced department, and why do they need power capacity? They're not using power. They just need power capacity to be able to place your storages. That's a dumb thing. You should be. It's a box. Like, why does a box need power capacity to waste my time and all the storage? If you want people to make bigger bases and make a whole bunch of bases, then you need lots of storage for your stuff. Like, your automatic miner right here, which stores all this stuff right here, then stops working. I can take all that and then it'll get going on there. So yeah, automatically mine stuff with the lasers. So that's something that Subnautica didn't have, and that's an improvement, right? And being able to stack up to 5 for lots of these resources is an improvement too. Not everything's going to stack, like all these electrical components and stuff like that don't stack in this game. So yeah, not everything stacks, but it's okay for inventory, I guess. But yeah, you got automatic miner. These asteroids respawn, and the only reason I think you could play this game a little bit longer is to make bases in other locations. Like there is some gold here, and it's enough to get by. But there is a wrecked ship over there somewhere that has more gold ores flying around there that probably respawn that you could do. And just over there is a whole bunch of silver, and I know that respawns for sure. So you could make a base over there, for example. You don't really need to make a base here, and you can make one where there's ice and carbon for your other ingredients, but there's no point in stacking up there. You have all these little bubble way stations for your quest to go explore, little cave in there to explore, that kind of thing. You got to find key cards for doors. I never liked that system right there, because what if you miss a key card? Some things, when you open them up, fall through the ground. So maybe I'm missing a key card because the key card was in the chest, which happens sometimes, and it fell through the floor when you open the chest, which has happened. So it's got those little bugs in there. But yeah, you get little crates you can see floating around over there that you open up in space with your little laser, which doesn't do damage. You got flying enemies around, the little drones, and some of them you can bash, but since that's your only real weapon is this bashing club right here, and some of them you can break, but then the others just don't do it. And then you run to the exploding guys, like the fish in Subnautica, where they come out of the water and they come at you and they blow up, and you can't do anything about it unless you have some like advanced gravity bubble type thing, or you just go real fast and go around a corner and hopefully they explode and don't get you. But in this game you don't have that option. You open up a chest and there's a bomb guy in there. He just runs after you and blows up, and there's nothing you can do because the laser doesn't actually do any damage to him. That's a laser cutter, so that doesn't make sense. And there's no weapons yet, so the best thing you can do with this game so far, if you're playing it, is go ahead and take your spacecraft that you make later on and just run into them, and that's how you can kill them. That's what I did to get that stuff, is just run in there and blow them up with that thing right there. It's got some mods on your little spaceship that you can build, just like Subnautica. Same thing. You got your power cells on the side, you got your storage that you can upgrade, and then you got your modules, but you can't stack them like in Subnautica. You can't stack a whole bunch of storages on there or speeds or anything like that. There's no boost yet in this game, and that's the warp module. You need to go through that gate that goes nowhere. Yeah, the health upgrade for there, and then that's about it. There's some toolkits you can get to upgrade it. So yeah, you got no repair tool in this game, so you don't repair it like that way in this game. So it's a little bit different like that, but yeah, you just fly around on this thing here, and now you don't have to worry about oxygen at all. Just got to worry about your power. It sucks the power pretty fast, and it really needs that boost thing going on there. You need that boost upgrade, which would be nice, because this is pretty slow. Yeah, there's the gate over there, but yeah, you're most of the other time you're just trying to travel through space at the start with your jetpacks that run out of fuel super fast, and then you're stuck doing nothing. But yeah, I find those little drone type guys. You can zoom in and out. Find those drone type of guys and just run into them with your ship and blow them up. Eventually, they move around and dart around, so it's a pain. But at least it's an easy way to kill them, and they don't attack this thing. So that makes it fun for you, at least, that you can blow them up there. There we go, back in there. So no, it works okay. That's a little bit choppy on there, but on the transition, but it works okay. You can customize your colors just like Subnautica for that department. But yeah. At the end of the day, it's still early access, so lots of the things can be adjusted and changed. It needs more incentive, I think, to build more bases other places. But maybe when they have the other map open and going, then that's when you build another a base with a portal, obviously. But for now, there's no reason to go there, and no reason to really make other bases, because that's all you really need in this game is just one base. And just if you're just near some asteroids in the one, you get enough iron and copper that you don't have to worry about anything else too much, because eventually your little thing here will be fast enough to mine all these other harder asteroids later on. Because at the start your mining is pretty weak and slow, and mining a gold or silver takes a long time. But now this is this is fast enough. That's who worries about that? I just got 3 gold. And there you go. And that's the same thing for the silver. And then all the other ones are going to be a lot faster to mine now too. Like, if you play this game at the start, you realize how slow it is. The first upgrade doesn't really do much of anything, but the next upgrades do a lot more. And the laser's pretty slow, but don't go in front of the laser because it hurts. Yeah, don't do that. Just so you know. I just wanted to fun. But yeah, here on the bottom are the battery packs. You got to keep building these. And another thing I don't like is there's nothing that extends to the bottom of the big, huge open area I have for my thing. So the battery packs don't stick onto the living quarters, which sucks. You have to extend your base with just extensions on there, which is kind of lame. You got to build these corridors basically to have all these little dots on here. It doesn't show the dot on there, but they should probably change that so it does show you these dots. This one here has one. It doesn't have the automatic, using your resources in an area around your base, like some other games have. Most of the games have these days now. Subnautica didn't have that, so I guess they can't really have it either. But that would be something that would be, a good thing to have to upgrade it, because the upgrades in this game that I see so far are the the automatic miners. So that's an upgrade basically, right? And the teleporters is an upgrade. That's something that Subnautica would have been a lot better at having if you could actually just build your own teleporter system to teleport between your bases, because that game you really needed to make more bases everywhere. And with this one here, you're just in a big open space. You can fly around on your ship, or you're just fly around in space yourself, and consume a whole bunch of oxygen tanks. And you can get from point A to point B without much difficulty, unlike the Astrometica game, where it's a tight quarters, a pain in the ass, and the mapping is going to be a pain in that game. When it's wide open like that, you don't really need to do some of the things it's doing. And get rid of this power requirement for these storage lockers. That's got to go on there, and maybe make some better farming. But it's got some of the improvements that you like. The extra stacking and the automatic miners and teleporters, like I said, for that. But that's not much going on there. The actual content in this game, I'd probably call it like 6 hours and you're done. I got like 12 hours on there because I triple checked everything to try and find stuff to unlock, and I tried to find iridium, and I tried to find some nickel respawns, and I couldn't find any of that, or nanites. Maybe I had to go bash some more of those robots, but I tried bashing some of them that were doing a ton of damage to me, and I hit them like 20 times, and they didn't die, so I just gave up and just used my ship instead to do that. Figured out a way to get by them so I can actually loot the stuff, and there was nothing to loot. There is one other ship you can make called a miner ship, but I don't know if it's actually in the game and unlocked yet, because you can research the pieces, but I only got 3 out of 4 out of it. So, and I don't remember where the 5th one is. It's covered by drones that fire, it has 3 drones surrounding it that fire a ton of high-powered shots at you. So I didn't have the ship until later on. The ship is more of the much later on in the game until you get that guy, because you get to fly around like this, basically, right? This is how you fly around with your jetpack, and then your jetpack drains, and this is like the T3 upgrade, so I got a little bit more boost out of it. That's the 3 times more boost basically, and I got the extra boost for the speed for the upgrades. So you can imagine what it is at the start. Then you sit there and you're doing nothing. You're not moving. You gotta wait for your jetpack to refuel, and then you can go, basically, right? And then you do it again to get to the next area. And then at the start of the game, you have like no oxygen at the start when you're playing it, so you have that to worry about there. Then you finally get into these other zones, and you should be good to go. And these places here have oxygen and gravity, and then you got a couple plants and funguses to grab, and that's about it. And then you just search these areas, and that's about it in the game. So yeah, that's all there is really to this game, besides following the tutorial and then going from the the little point A to point B, find the distress signals, just like Subnautica. Distress signal, we're under attack. You get there, everybody's gone. Then find a note. We went over to here, and then you go over there, and everybody's gone. There is one dead body in this game, and I was gonna, bring it to my base, but I decided not to do that. One body flying around in space, you could probably push it and bring it to your base somewhere, and it was over here somewhere, and I think it was in the. I forget where it was. If it was in that little dungeon, that little place over there, maybe, or was it in that cave system? There's another one over here. That one over there. It could have been over there, and that one there. So that's a bigger system at the end there. So we want to go at the end. Yeah, there you have it. This game, early access and all of that for what you have. Look how slow it is. We had to wait for that thing to recharge fully before you get some speed built up. But so you can actually travel a little bit. There we go. So early access as it is, that part really doesn't really matter for that, just for the content. So I wouldn't recommend getting this game yet. Maybe later on, but for now, it's a 5 out of 10. I don't know if it's going to be better than Subnautica or not. Not in the graphics department or that, but it does have the automatic miner stuff, and it has some room for improvements. So it can't get worse, and it is 5 out of 10. It's an okay game. It's playable. You're not going to get much content, so beware of that right now. So that's why I said I don't recommend it right now, but later on, sure. And when they finish the story and have multiple zones, like right now, the gate system over there somewhere, it says it has 2 gates and one of them's locked out, and the other one you go there's nothing. So at least they're going to have 2 other places you can warp to later on and get different types of ingredients and probably upgrades and make other bases and stuff like that, and more storyline. But until that's unlocked, I wouldn't get that game. I wouldn't get this game until that stuff is there. So you actually have some real content, or you could be done in like 6 hours. Like if I wanted to do a speed run, I might be able to get this done in 3 hours. Like who knows? Because there's nothing to do. I think the end of it would be the end of the speed run would be have a module with warp drive on there. That's it. I guess that'd be it. Get your ship built with the warp drive module so you can go to the next gate. Because that's the only goal you have in this game is to have access to that. And there's no point in going there. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later.